We're at the Coral Springs Museum of Art, and Bruce Helander is the curator of this exhibit of Jill Krutick's. Bruce, what attracts you to Jill's work?
Well, I think all works of art, to be interesting and to be ultimately successful, they need to attract your attention on various levels. New, fresh, energetic, eccentric, in this case, well-styled, well thought out. In Jill Krutick's case, she follows this great tradition of abstract expressionism, initially invented by Jackson Pollock, Lee Krasner, a colleague, Helly Frankenthaler. And they followed the idea that a painting could be rich and invigorating without a narrative context, without a story. So abstract expressionism was invented, and there's a long tradition of artists who have followed that great American tradition. So in this show, and one of the things that's attracted so many people here so far at opening night, is that Jill has found her own signature, her own way of expressing color, movement in an abstract expressionist theory. So I think without even knowing what the paintings are about, just as I've watched many of the people here tonight, they clearly are enjoying the color combinations, the rhythmic kind of flavor, the kind of ambulatory spirit that a lot of these things have. There are some very interesting metaphorical titles that relate in many ways. Some of the paintings that are a light blue that have swirls are kind of be reminiscent of a skating rink, or clouds in the sky, or some of the other works might be reminiscent of a mountain or a stream, but they are all afterthoughts. The bottom line with Jill's work is that she has a particularly sophisticated eye that is able to express abstract expressionist marks and put them together in an intelligent way that puts together a beautiful aesthetic statement. There, I said that, I guess. Yeah.
You have an eye for up-and-coming artists.
I've heard that.
Does Jill Krutick have a future in the art world?
She is right in this sorority and fraternity, or whatever you want to call it, because there are a lot of artists out there that are talented, but as you continue to climb up the ladder, you need to have a real burning ambition. Talent, of course, is the main component, but you also need to be a workaholic with your work. All of the artists that I've ever known, like Robert Rauschenberg, who I once asked, what's the secret of your success? And he said, there really isn't any secret. If you got the talent, you just got to have to work 7 days a week. And Jill Krutick does work basically all the time on her work. That's how, none of this work is produced by magic. None of these works can be done in a day or even a week. Most of the works take months and months to put together, and then you got to go back and work on them and put together. But at the end of the day, an artist is kind of a lonely preoccupation, because when you're working in your studio, you can't turn around and ask an opinion about what you're doing. You have to have the intuitive sensibility to know right from wrong and what is the end and what's the right kind of composition. And that evidence is here on the canvases at the Coral Springs Museum of Art.